Thanks for clicking on this video and watching it and getting a good idea of what I did to create this vision that I originally had back 12 months ago. This is the HK Models B-17 Flying Fortress. It's a good build. Minimal gaps, really. Can't complain about the gaps. Overall finished model is very good. And then it just depends on how you want to finish it off. This particular model, which is 1/48, has a wingspan of 658 mils, length of 474, so it's a pretty decent size. I did think about doing the 1/32 scale, but that was going to be way too big for the diorama of this size. I just made up a wooden base and put an image on it and some basic electronics, 3 installed motors, and that's about it for this model. There's no lighting, just pretty straightforward. Motor install was very simple compared to other models I've done. But yes, as you'll see from the pictorial parts in this video, you'll see how easy the motors went in. The motors were a small 16mm long, 8mm wide motor. These are the smaller types that you can put in, and it's all about how well you can get the spindle to fit to the prop. And to do that, I use nylon gears and trim the teeth off so they'd slide into the props themselves very snugly. So I can actually pull them on and off without gluing, and there's good grip because they're a nylon gear. So that's what I use. These are around $1 each, and these are cents. So it is a cheap way of motorizing a kit. Weathering, you'll see in the photos, I decided on trying to try some new methodologies to bring up the panels, and that worked really well. And then just spraying black to create the exhaust smoke. I tried to keep it minimal as such around, and then after all the painting was done, then it was just a matter of using Tamiya weathering kits just to create an extra bit of lightness to the model as such. Just the soot and the rust on the B kit, and then the 2 sand and light sands just to lighten up some areas of the model on the A kit. Plastic rod, acrylic rod, I bought just off eBay. They're just a 10mm diameter acrylic rod. These were 500mm lengths. I bought a few of them, and then I just cut this to the right size to make it workable as such. I think it's about 350 long in the end. Just glued the bombs on, stuck the wires down the acrylic rod. It just runs on a single AA battery, so it's easy. Yeah, it is really basic. The drone motors are rated at 60,000 RPM, and if you run them at 3.7 volts, you'd actually burn out and break the props. Using a 1.5 volt battery over 3 props creates just a good speed, and there's no resistor limiting. It's just straight out 1.5 volt to the prop motors. We'll do a spin around just to show the model, and then I'll run through some of the damage that I did and how I created it. As you can see, the shading on the wings I was particularly happy with. There's no guides to how to create flak damage. I did want to use some fabrics that would actually flap in the breeze, because there is a fair bit of breeze generated by the prop spinning. But once these fabrics are painted, they become rigid, so therefore there's no flapping as such. All of the damage was just done by the trusty Dremel, either cutting or digging in and using a small fine drill to create the holes. To create the panel damage, I actually cut up a white latex glove, very small pieces, and stuck them on, and they did work well. It was just a thought I came up with, and it's a nice thin material, but it does turn rigid once it's painted. Bullet holes just done with a drill and Dremel. Dremel around here, Dremel all through here, and you can just see latex glove parts. They were just a white latex glove. And then yeah, there's not much on this side. It was just the one engine that's out with a feathered prop. To create the feathered prop, yeah, it took me a bit of thinking, but in the end I went with a real simple solution. Just heat it up and tilt the blade around and then let it reset. Very simple in the end. That's about it. Any questions, just pop them down below. I do really like questions that are raised. I've put this on quite a few forums and Facebook pages, and it's always good to have questions, because that's where the thinking really starts. And when people go, "Well, how'd you do that?" I'll go, "This is how I did it," and they go, "Wow, I haven't tried that before." And especially with the shading, I didn't do any base painting. It was just straight onto the paint, numerous coats of gloss, and then one final coat of matte varnish just to finish it off. Anyway, enjoy the build pics and happy modelling.